car salesman Min Guo, 29, who the court heard did not have a specialist treating his asthma, despite landing in the emergency department every hay fever season. Mr. Guo lived between Ballarat and Bundoora and had suffered asthma since childhood. Ling Yang, a 47-year-old accounts manager who lived in Roxburgh Park and who also had no asthma management plan. Her husband said she had suffered from asthma for 12 years, needed to use her Ventolin inhaler 6 times a day and had episodic attacks every couple of months. Croydon's spray painter Min Guo, 48, also did not have an asthma plan in place because he had no reported medical history of the condition, although in January 2016 he had seen a GP and been diagnosed with a mild obstructive ventilator defect. Seamstress La Hu Win, 46, suffered mild to moderate asthma and had seasonal hay fever, but according to her GP her asthma was well controlled with medication. A number of the families who attended the mention hearing on Thursday morning said they wanted to know why they had been told by 000 operators that an ambulance was on its way, when one wasn't. The court learnt that the Inspector General of Emergency Management has already investigated how the emergency calls made by the families of the deceased were managed by dispatchers, but the April report has not been released publicly. Anne Pierce, whose 57-year-old husband Priyanka collapsed and died at his home in Roxburgh Park, said that she missed her soulmate. "We did everything together," she said. "I just want for other people not to lose anybody." Mrs. Pierce said it took an ambulance 29 minutes to reach her husband, an electrical fitter, although it felt like much longer. This photo of Anne Pierce and her husband Priyan. The photo was taken at St. Paul's Cathedral the day before Mr. Pierce's death. It is their last photo together. The family of retail worker Hope Marsh, 20, and Thomastown man Apollo Papadopoulos are also seeking answers about why they had to wait so long for an ambulance and why there were given no warnings. "Why," said Apollo's father, Hercules Papadopoulos. "Why wasn't it in the media? Why weren't people notified about it? That's my biggest concern." Mr. Papadopoulos said the ambulance took about half an hour to arrive. Apollo Papadopoulos' father has one question. Why? Photo Facebook Apollo.pap. The first victim of the asthma cluster is believed to be Year 12 student Omar Hamil Mujald, while 37-year-old security guard Clarence Leo reportedly died in the hours after the storm hit. Counsel assisting the coroner, Senior Constable Duncan Mackenzie, said that Mr. Leo had an asthma management plan but his compliance with it had been suboptimal and poor. Clarence and his wife, Amanda Leo. Photo Facebook. They still call McAlevey. Authorities were blindsided when a storm rolled into Melbourne a little after 5 p.m. on a hot November day, triggering a mass outbreak of thunderstorm asthma thought to be caused by pollen grains that burst in the humid weather. At one stage that evening, calls for paramedics were coming in every 4.5 seconds on average. The demand was so great that Ambulance Victoria ran out of ambulances and had to call in police officers and field doctors trained for disasters to help with transporting acute patients to the hospital. About 8,500 people were treated in hospitals across Melbourne and Geelong. Loading. Since the tragedy, the Victorian government has developed a new thunderstorm alert system, which on Thursday was warning of a moderate risk of epidemic thunderstorm asthma in the Northern Country, Northeast, Central, North Central and Southwest districts of Victoria. The coronial investigation continues.